Nobody has done more for modern Rome Total War players than ManyATrueNerd and his Brutii Let's Play from all the way back in 2016. That series currently stands at the second most popular Let's Play in history, going by viewership. Today I wanted to make a little tribute to that entire series and go over why I think it was so great. When this series began, I was not even covering Rome at the time, but this series was one of the main inspirations behind me getting into recording gameplay for it, so it does hold a special place in my heart. ManyATrueNerd went for a very simple thumbnail design for his video. Just a red background and the logo. Nothing complicated, nothing special, not even a part 1 in the title, which I think is the perfect tribute to it. Rome's colours stood out beautifully, yet at the same time, they were very simple. The series begins in the menu, a basic description of the game, then he hops in and shows the player around. For the new player who has never before heard of it, they can follow along and learn the basics as it goes, whereas the old school players already know this, but can still enjoy the little nostalgia trip. The little childish excitement in his voice perfectly adds to all of that. And that is one thing that made it so good. It was for everyone, new players or long-time fans, but it did not stop there. Where he showed the viewers the very basics of what this game has to offer, he also did some neat tricks which at the time were really unknown. For example, a description into how the economics of a settlement is calculated, and how retinues could be transferable. This is stuff that even I did not know before. Even to this day, whenever I move a retinue around, I get loads of comments from people saying they never knew that was a thing. He had a special talent at teaching the basics to the new players and the hidden mechanics to the oldies, but not in a way that was too simple or too complex for each group. The series itself started off as nothing overly special. It felt just like a normal campaign. However, gradually, he began to look into the characters a little bit more, their traits and retinue, to min-max his situation. Whereas usually most top-tier players would just go all out on a conquer spree, he slowed it down to try and get a more efficient run. To the new players, this must have just seemed like the normal way to play, but to the old-time fans, it was an interesting new take. And eventually, the myth, the man, the legend, Julianus Vatinius joined the series. Suddenly, the tone took a dramatic change. The expansion suddenly became much more rapid, and a storyline was created. What started as a normal Let's Play transformed over time into a deep story, with characters we all love and hate. And this was before the Civil War added a whole new layer on top of that. And this here is the second point. It gradually built into it, making each episode better than the last. Usually most leave, and most people did leave here, but that increase in entertainment value every episode and that need to watch to find out what happens next to our heroes kept a massive proportion of the audience on and engaged, and then they recommended the series because of this. It got shared, and then it just spiraled out of control, up to episode 1, getting over 1 million views. If you want proof of how loved the RP side was, look no further than the comments. Point 1 allowed him to get the initial viewers and keep the audience engaged. Point 2 kept them watching for hours worth of episodes to come, which is by far the hardest feat, but point 3 just cemented it as a staple of the series. Editing. This was arguably the first ever Total War Let's Play to be heavily edited. The loading screens, gone. Most end turns, gone. Time in battles when nothing was happening, gone. This is done interestingly right at the end also, where he skips the final repetitive 40 turns or something to get to the final episode, a closing point for the character arcs. Chances are interest at that point was heavily dropping off, and so not to just keep milking the same repetitive content to a diminishing audience, it ended instead with a bang. Now people may ask, why did his other Let's Plays not do so well? The Barbarian Invasion one and the Medieval 2 one. Still, I have to make it clear first. These did impeccably well for their time. Point 2 was there. We had the developing storyline. Point 3, the editing was spot on. Better, in fact. But it was point 1 where this collapsed. Where Rome had been the game where he explained the basics, it could not work the same way again. The new players before now knew all of this stuff. It would have been dull for them to hear it over again, and even worse for those who really understood the game, to hear the basics explained twice. So the intro had to be shorter, and the series much more just getting into it. But then, those who were new did not get the explanation of the game at the same level as it was done in Rome 1. On top of that, there was an overwhelming build-up of hype beforehand. People had their RP characters ready, wanting to get into it. But those same people forgot how long the character development actually took to get underway in Rome 1. Many, I presume, felt underwhelmed, wanting all that excitement to return instantly. The 3-point system of success here could only ever fully work once. No, this video is far from a bash of ManyATrueNerd. Those two series were wildly successful, but if anybody was to wonder why they did lower in their views, or why it will probably never happen again, it is for that reason, I believe. His first Let's Play was as close as any YouTuber in the community ever got to perfection, but it could never be replicated the same way again. Credit to the guy, 100%, he did good. That series even got me into all of this on a much more serious level. This is a system that I tried to build upon in my RP series. Season 3 Medieval 2 Jerusalem campaign starting this Friday. But even those will never be as great as what ManyATrueNerd achieved. And nobody probably ever will again in the Total War community. Anyway, I have been MelKor. check out his series, it is certainly worth a watch. Subscribe for more videos, like this one if you enjoyed, and I just wanted today to explain the art of building up a series. Some of you may find this useful, but anyway, for now, goodbye.